and he wanted to understand them. A good journalist, Sapai thought, doesn't see anyone as an enemy or as a friend while they're working. You only become a human being again with likes and dislikes after you close the story, he would tell our staff. It had been Sapai who ultimately made the call to run the story that had so angered the Taliban official in the first place, bringing him to our offices to conduct a raid. The decision hadn't come easily. Sapai might have been more comfortable than his colleagues talking to the Taliban spokesperson, but he wasn't naive about what the organization was capable of. Yet he felt he had no choice. After 6 months in charge, during which they worked to cement their power over the Afghans who remained in the country, Taliban officials had begun asserting their authority over our offices, summoning Moby employees or dropping by the offices almost daily. Abdul Nafeh Khalik, a young man who was the head of Moby's legal department, had been detained twice and in secret, without any warning given to his colleagues or his family. Like Sapai, Nafeh was more comfortable around the Taliban than the average Kabul resident, although he had lived most of his early life as a refugee and student in Pakistan. His roots were in Kandahar, also the Taliban's birthplace, and where its leadership was based. It was Nafeh who had been one of our main on-the-ground negotiators with the Taliban in the months after their assumption of power in August 2021, visiting judges and ministries, fielding text messages and phone calls, trying to argue against the rules and demands made regarding the programming on our radio and TV stations, which grew harsher with each passing day. Kabul had fallen so quickly. In the aftermath, our company stayed afloat hour by hour. Moby survived the first few days by helping staffers who wanted to leave. In the end, the majority of our on-air staff fill out the paperwork necessary to show they were at particular risk because of their role in the media. Sapai had to replace the staffers who were fleeing daily, train the new ones, and keep the programs going. He had made the call to air footage of the panicked crowds around the airport, to make the story the human toll of the withdrawal. When one of his high-ranking Taliban contacts asked to come on air at Tolo to, he said, reassure the public that this government will be different from the Taliban of the 1990s, Sapai allowed it, assigning a female journalist to do the interview, viewers relishing the official's obvious discomfort. "Saad," Sapai promised me, "I won't let the screens go dark." Every day, we adjusted to the new reality, sometimes by trying to anticipate what decisions the Taliban might make next. Our music programs on both TV and radio were the first to go. No surprise there. Playing and listening to music had been banned under the first Taliban regime. Then we cancelled all the programs where men and women appeared together, including on radio shows that had been on air for nearly the entire 20 years. We accepted that our employees would now have to pass through Taliban security when they came to work. The same group who, in 2016, had declared Tolo News an important tool of warfare of America and the Crusaders, and a legitimate target, were now our best defense against other lethal threats like the Islamic State Khorasan, ISKP, the local branch of ISIS. All female employees made sure that their heads were scrupulously covered and, after a Taliban edict in May 2022, their mouths and noses too. Although we staged a protest requiring male presenters and guests, including Taliban officials, to wear black surgical masks on air. "It's hard to talk, isn't it?" one of our journalists asked a Taliban minister during an interview. We stopped using the term Taliban to refer to the new government, and instead started referring to them as representatives of the Islamic Emirates. We put up curtains in our offices to separate the seating areas for men and women, and after women were banned from appearing in them, cancelled many of our entertainment shows. Singing competitions, some foreign dramas, locally produced mixed-gender comedy and talk shows, which we knew Taliban leadership would find irredeemably offensive. Because morale in the office and in the country was so low, not only had President Ashraf Ghani and the ruling elite fled, but so had authors, writers, academics, doctors, school teachers, and, of course,